Hello, gorgeous, and welcome to the Choosing You podcast. As this is the 10th episode today, and I'm super excited, I was just thinking there might be somebody out there. You're listening to me right now, and you're thinking, who is this girl? What is she talking about? I don't know this podcast. What's the logic and everything? So I was thinking it would make a lot of sense to explain to you why I chose the name that I chose and what this, community and space is for. Okay, so choosing the name, choosing you, coming home to who you really are was very intentional, because from the beginning of the time when you have started to think, we have been shaped as girls, as women, to become a certain type of person. So your parents have been telling you how to act a certain way in front of strangers, in front of them, how to behave a certain way, what a nice girl is supposed to do. So we have been conditioned to become a certain type of person, a certain type of character to fit into it. Otherwise, if you're a girl that cannot behave, screaming around, running around, having a lot of energy, just not listen to the parents, doesn't behave the way they want you to behave as a girl, you'll be seen as, cannot be tamed, is not listening, is not a good child, maybe the parents haven't been educating her well, and so on and so on. Funny enough, if you had the luck to growing up with brothers, you would have been seen same situations but different outcomes. What I mean by that is same situations of energy, misbehaving, not listening, running around, doing their thing, but the reaction would be, it's just a boy and he has so much energy, he's just a boy, of course he needs to let it out, or let him be, he's still young, or whatever. So there would be other consequences and other reactions if you are a boy or if you're a girl. So a super unfair gender gap situation. So then we are running around our whole life doing just what we have been told, and it can happen that one day you will realize that you haven't been living as yourself. It can be in your 20s, 30s, 40s. It can be seen then when you have a midlife crisis and suddenly totally behave in a different way. Suddenly you decide to not care about anybody and just go in your way, but people would see you as, it's the age, it's the hormones, something is wrong with her, why is she acting that way, she never acted that way. Because we understand that the place we are now at, whatever age you are, whatever stage you are, position, situation you are, they can be a situation where you feel, what am I doing right now in my relationships and where I live and my job, this is actually not fulfilling me and I'm not happy and I don't accept doing this until I retire, until I reach a certain age. We just don't want to do this anymore. So we start to not listen to others, but we start listening to ourselves. And this is where this whole coming home to who you really are is coming in place. Because you finally start listening to your inner voice, to your inner child, and thinking, what is that I want? What do I want to do, see, experience, eat, drink, whatever is on you, and not to, be liked, to be favored by other people. So this podcast is for us to find a safe space, to be able to, listen to experiences, to listen to wisdom. This is from women to women. And I want this to be a real talk only about purposes and meaning and experiences and what we actually want, and not what someone defined for us, what is right for us to do. And the goal would be support from women to other women, because eventually no one else will come and save us. No one come and say, you want to take my hand, I want to help you through your life. That, fairy tale that we used to tell us is just not true. And I chose this platform and I chose a podcast specifically because I don't want to be standing here and I don't want to be commented or judged based on my hair color, my makeup, what am I wearing, and what is she wearing today, and today she feels off, and why she cut her hair that short, and what is this red top, this doesn't suit her. This is not the logic of this podcast. This podcast is only about sharing wisdom and experiences in womanhood, and not what about, the nail art that I just did and that you don't like the green color. Like, I don't care. This is not a life important thing to talk about. And the reality of understanding that you finally want to fight for yourself and chase what you like and chase your dreams without, now losing yourself because you don't even know who you are and maybe you didn't know your whole life. So it can be feeling very lonely and feel very confusing, especially for those women out there who are having it more tougher because they can be introverted, they can be just a very natural overthinker, they can dealing with anxiety. This is so hard to just really finally stand up for yourself and say, listen, I want to do something completely different, and stand up for yourself in front of your parents, in front of whatever, relationships, friendships you have built, because they don't know you that way, that new person, that new version of you. And I want you to understand that, please, whatever age you are and you stopped listening to others and you finally are able to, choose yourself, I want you to understand that even though you lived many years on this earth and you feel like you wasted your time, you actually haven't. You are at least reached that point that you have been identifying and seeing that you have been living in your shadow and a life that someone made up for you. There are many women out there that will eventually never realize that they're not living by themselves, for themselves, as themselves. So that you have reached that point that you feel like, I don't want to be my anxiety anymore. I don't want to just do what other people are telling me. I don't want to be this nice girl. I don't want to be this person just always, saying yes to everybody and always totally forgetting herself. That is huge. If you have that realization, that is already the huge step in the right direction. And definition of your dream, don't you ever dare to feel stupid about the definition of your dreams, because everyone has different dreams. It can be bigger or smaller ones, but eventually it's your dream. It's on you. Whatever you want to do, travel, start your own business. You can save up some money to buy, a dress for yourself, but it's more expensive, so you need to save up some money. Or if you want to overcome social anxiety, so you're trying out to go into, unknown territory. And there's so many things. There's so many things that you can do, and you should never be ashamed of whatever dream you are dreaming. And I know that we all get super excited when we have something that we really burn for and we want to go for, that we are sharing this with our closest people because we want to get the, validation from them to really chase it. But this is the first mistake you make, because we know very well how fast a dream can be burnt down when you tell this to the wrong people at an early stage. Whatever dream you have, I want you to put a piece of paper, write it down. It's on you. We just talked about it, that you're not living by other people's rules anymore. So you don't have to ask them. You don't have to tell them, listen, this is what I'm going to go for. Why are you asking permission? You're a grown-up woman. You don't have to ask permission for anybody to chase and live your life. You can write it on a piece of paper. You can evaluate by importance and priority, because you might have many dreams at the same time, but you do not share this to anybody for now. And even though we have close friends where we believe those people would eventually support us, many people aren't supporting you. They may be smiling in your face, but they're eventually not supporting you. The opposite is happening. Especially between women, there's a lot of envy happening. There's a lot of jealousy happening. There's a lot of comparison happening. Instead of saying, oh, I'm so happy for her, like she has achieved this goal and I want to be just like her, or I want to go the same path. So how can I learn from her? What can she teach me? We are eventually going the other direction. We're saying she does not deserve that. She had it easy. Someone helped her. That's not fair. I hate her. We start talking bad things. We start gossiping about people. And we are eventually surrounded by all this negative energy, which is not good for us at all. But women just keep doing that. So how to get through this without losing yourself is to actually try to avoid as much as possible to be in an overwhelming state, because women would like to do thousands of things at the same time, and we are really doing it. Like, we can be so crazy. This morning we wake up and we're gonna start a new hobby or whatever. We're buying everything from the internet. It's coming tomorrow and we are starting it. Like, we can be so determined. But that's the thing, then you can't focus on one thing, right? So to not be overwhelmed, like what direction to go, and you wanna be everywhere, you have to focus on what is the priority, as I just mentioned, like by the paper, evaluating it, prioritizing it. And very important is to not think about the negative things, what can go wrong and reasons to not start a certain thing. This can be in your head, but this can be those people around you where you actually thought they're gonna support me, but they can also tell you 1,000 things why you should not be doing that. Like, who are you? Who do you think you are? Aren't you a little bit delusional? Like, who wants to hear that? Who wanna get motivated by those words? Especially, who will be motivated after hearing this? You have a strong character, that will actually really be tough for you to keep going. If someone is telling in your face, and this is a close person, why are you so delusional? Can you not be more humble? Like, this is crashing you. So please help yourself by trying to see more opportunities rather than problems in front of you, to not lose your mind. If no one is telling you that it is impossible, and by no one I mean yourself, and I mean by people around you, then you will actually do so many more things, or you try more things, and you will be more brave to do things because no one told you it's not possible. And then you can try, and then you will see, oh, I like it or I just don't like it. But you have tried, you have data, which now you can see, and then totally go on with this. And slowly, one by one, understanding who you are, what do you like and not like, and what direction you want to go for. And once again, don't ever be ashamed defining your dream, speaking it out loud. If you want to leave it in the comments, leave it in the comments. I will be happy to read about it. But don't you ever validate yourself by somebody else's opinion and that they define your dream as bad, so it's bad. It's not about this. You are worth chasing whatever dream you have. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. And if you like this, like I explained, the logic, the idea of this podcast, the community that I want to create, I'm happy if you would like to stick here and come back again, maybe next week, to the new episode. Thank you so much.